confidently pick the big favorite Duke to win over UNCW. Then we have got 6 seed Texas taking on 11 seed Northern Iowa. Texas is a small to average sized favorite, although I see a lot of people picking Northern Iowa, and I am going to pick Northern Iowa, not because anyone else is picking Northern Iowa, but because of these numbers. You want to know where Texas ranks? 60th in field goal percentage, 56th in three-point percentage, 61st in free throw percentage, 61st in rebounding, 57th in steals. Texas stinks. The only thing they're good at is not turning the ball over, where they're ranked 10th. Guess what? Northern Iowa, they're ranked 4th in not turning the ball over, so they're even better at their one and only strength. Don't get me wrong, Northern Iowa stinks at rebounding and stealing the ball as well. However, they're great at shooting free throws, ranked 7th, very good at shooting three-pointers, ranked 18th, and decent at shooting from the field, ranked 38th, much better than Texas, 60th. Pathetic. So we confidently pick Northern Iowa to get the upset there over 6 seed Texas. Moving on, we've got the 3 seed Texas A&M taking on the 14 seed University of Green Bay, or Green Bay Community College, or I don't know. Green Bay is who they're taking on. And boom, here you go. I hate 3 seeds apparently this year. I have another 3 seed choking on it big time, losing, getting upset to a 14 seed, and this would be a big upset. Texas A&M is a big favorite in this game. But we look at the numbers. They're both about the same. They're both almost identical field goal percentage. They're both they're 1/10 of a percentage off in field goal percentage. They're the exact same in three-point percentage. And they're 1.4% off in free throw shooting. So offensively, they're pretty much identical. Here's where Green Bay is going to pull off the upset. Rebounding, identical, 38.9 each. Turnovers, 12.1 to 11.8, almost identical. Creating turnovers. Green Bay is the second best team at getting steals in the entire tournament. Texas A&M ranked 22nd. We've got 10 to 7 per game. That is where Green Bay is going to win this game and pull off the upset over Texas A&M. Boom, mark it down. All right, 2 more here in the West, and then we'll move on to our final region, which is the Midwest. We've got 7 seed Oregon State taking on 10 seed VCU. VCU is an average-sized favorite in this one. I agree with that assessment, and am picking VCU. Field goal percentage, they're better, not by a ton. Three-point percentage, Oregon State's better, but not by a ton. Free throw percentage, they're both pretty bad. VCU a little bit better. Rebounding, this is going to be significant since both of them are bad shooting teams typically. Rebounding, VCU much better. Protecting the ball, identical. Creating turnovers, VCU 5th best in the tournament. That's going to be the difference. VCU confidently picking them to win as an average size favorite over Oregon State. And our final here in the Western region, big favorite Oklahoma 2 seed taking on 15 seed Bakersfield. And this we're confidently picking Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a pretty good team. They played in arguably the best conference in college basketball this year. 25-7. They can shoot it lights out from three-point range. They're good shooting from the field and free throw lines as well. They're a good rebounding team, and they're good at generating steals. Their only weakness is protecting the ball. Bakersfield's only strength, they're decent at rebounding, and they're good at creating steals, but they can't protect the ball either, and they can't shoot anything ever under any circumstances. So we confidently pick Oklahoma to advance to the second round there in the West. All right, and that means that it is time for our final region of first round picks, and then we can take just like a small stretch your arms out break here before we advance through the other rounds of the tournament, my full bracket predictions, and then put an end to this bracket busting breakdown tomfoolery shenanigan fest. Alright, so out in the Midwest. Yes, that's where we were. We've got the number 1 seed, University of Virginia, taking on Hampton. Now, okay, Virginia statistically on the board, they're legit. They're for real. They should be a number 1 seed, 26-7, 6th best field goal shooting percentage, 5th best 3-point shooting percentage, 5th best free throw shooting percentage, 2nd best at protecting the ball. Offensively, Virginia is a juggernaut. Where they struggle, they suck at rebounding. They're 66th. And they suck at generating steals. They're 52nd. So they are going to run up against somebody that's going to, bring down their offensive numbers to a level playing field, and boom, that's it. They lose. Okay, so Virginia is not going to win the NCAA tournament, but they've got a fairly easy road, to getting to the Elite Eight, at least in my opinion, and they could possibly get to the Final Four of the championship. I just don't see how, when you're that bad at rebounding the ball and you're that bad at creating turnovers, that you can win a championship against so many other good teams that we've got here in the tournament this year. But that's just my thinking on it. But so we confidently pick the big favorite, number 1 seed, Virginia, to crush Hampton out in the Midwest. Then in our next matchup of the 8 versus 9, we've got Texas Tech as the 8 seed versus Butler as the 9 seed. And Butler is the small favorite here, and I think they should be an even bigger favorite. Field goal percentage strong in Butler's favor. 3-point percentage way in Butler's favor. Free throw percentage slightly in Texas Tech's favor. Defensively, rebounding, Texas Tech's terrible. Butler isn't very good, but they got an advantage. Protecting the ball, Butler's pretty good, ranked 9th at only 10 turnovers a game. Texas Tech ranked 38th at 12 turnovers a game. And then creating turnovers, also Butler is better, ranked 28th at 7 a game, and Texas Tech at 43rd, getting 6 a game. Approximately. So everything on paper here says Butler wins without question, and I like Butler's, winning culture. And again, they've proven to be a program that knows how to at least advance and win games in the tournament. Maybe not win at all, but certainly get the job done. So we confidently pick Butler there in that matchup as well. Then we move on to the 5 seed Purdue Boilermakers from the Big Ten, taking on the University of Arkansas Little Rock. And upset alert. Yep, that's right. I got another Big Ten team getting upset in the first round. 5 seed Purdue will lose to University of Arkansas Little Rock. That's right. Field goal percentage, very similar, both pretty good. 3-point percentage, very similar, but Little Rock's borderline elite. Purdue is, around the average range, or slightly above average range. And then free throw percentage, both extremely good. So offensively, you're looking at a push, or I think a slight advantage to Little Rock, depending on your preference, maybe a slight advantage to Purdue. But so then we move on from there. What does Purdue do extremely well? They rebound. That is the strength of their team. They get 41 rebounds a game, 6th best in the tournament. Well, I think Little Rock's going to come out knowing that they're the underdog and knowing that our strength clearly is our 3-point shooting. The only way we're going to win this is to shoot threes. They're going to come out and shoot a bunch of threes. If they're hot from downtown, that rebounding advantage goes away. The 3-pointing advantage goes up. That's a double swing in favor of Little Rock. And it's all under their control for the most part, how they're shooting. Then when it comes to protecting the ball, Little Rock turns it over 1.5 times less a game than Purdue does. And when it comes to creating turnovers, Purdue doesn't do it at all. They steal the ball 4 times a game. Little Rock does it 6.5 times a game. So after we look at all those numbers and we think about it unbiasedly, how can we not pick the University of Little Rock to upset Purdue? And we're picking it fairly confidently. Like I'll put money on this. I will bet somebody a good $5 to $10 that Purdue loses in round 1. And they're an average-sized favorite in their matchup. Moving on further down the Midwest region, we have the big favorite 4 seed Iowa State taking on the 13 seed Iona. That's right. My Iona. All right, and we are confidently picking Iowa State, even though they broke our hearts. Haven't been a good tournament team here lately. They are the best field goal shooting team in the entire tournament. They're the 16th best three-point shooting team. They're plus 70% from the free throw arc. Iona is all middle of the road at best offensively. Defensively, Iona does not rebound the ball well. They don't protect the ball well either. About a one turnover difference. Iowa State less per game than Iona. Iowa State doesn't rebound particularly well, but that's probably because they shoot so well. That stat's probably skewed a little bit. And then steals, Iona does create a few more steals than Iowa State, probably because they're playing against worse competition and sloppier games with more turnovers total, period, than what Iowa State generally gets. Or Iowa State, excuse me. But so we very confidently feel good about picking the big favorite 4-seed Iowa State to advance to the second round over Iona. And don't look now, but we got 4 more games left here in round 1 to cover, and then we're done with round 1. Moving on throughout the rest of the tournament. But all right, so where are we at? Oh yeah. We have recently super hot winning their conference tournament, winning the Big East. I want to say Seton Hall taking on 11-seed Gonzaga. Seton Hall is a 6-seed, and Gonzaga is a good-sized favorite to win this game, surprisingly enough. Well, let's find out why that would be. Seton Hall's, they're playing phenomenal. They crushed. They looked super impressive in their conference tournament. But let's look at the numbers, shall we? And I think we might have to rethink things just a little bit. Gonzaga, 7th best team in the tournament shooting from the field. 17th three-point, 3rd free throw. Seton Hall, 48th, 42nd, and 60th, respectively. So offensively, it's not even remotely close. Seton Hall can't shoot. Gonzaga can. Defensively, they're both about the same as rebound, ranked 10th and 12th. Protecting the ball, Gonzaga's good at it. Seton Hall is not. They're ranked 65th in protecting the ball. Now here's the one thing, though. Creating steals, Gonzaga doesn't do it. They're ranked 59th. In creating steals, Seton Hall does do that well. They get over 7 a game. So do you go with the higher seed that's got the better defense and is hot right now, winning their conference tournament against really good competition, or do you go against do you pick the team with the better numbers across the board that plays in a weaker conference and maybe doesn't have that kind of momentum behind him? This is one where I think the numbers on paper are a little bit misleading, and I'm going to go with my eyeballs as well as my gut just a little bit. And I think it's kind of a toss-up anyway. And we are going to stick with Seton Hall beating Gonzaga in round 1. But don't be surprised if Gonzaga shoots the lights out and actually runs away with this game. I wouldn't ride Seton Hall too far if I were you. And in that fashion, I'm actually going to cross out a pick here. Yeah, all right. But anyway, we're picking them to beat Gonzaga yet. So then moving on in what has clearly become a trend for me in this tournament, I am picking the 3rd. That's right. I have picked 3 of the 3 seeds to lose their first round game. I am picking 3-seed Utah in the Midwest to lose. They're a big favorite. I'm picking them to lose to Fresno State. Fresno State, on paper, has no offense. Utah can shoot great from the field. They're average from 3-point and free throw line. Well, how can you pick Fresno State then, you say, Scotty Ball? Because defensively, Utah stinks. They only generate under 4.5 steals a game. They generate under 37.5 rebounds a game, which is the same, basically. Actually, Fresno State averages just a little over 37.5. And Utah can't protect the ball. They're ranked 45th in turnovers at 12.5 a game. Fresno State, they're ranked 6th in steals. at over 8 a game. So you've got a team that's terrible at protecting the ball going up against a team that's great at generating turnovers. Oh, and